You're listening to episode 198 of the Super League Pod. We have a new co-host who's been stalking the SLP family for their deep dark secrets. We have a lively debate on the way forward in 2019, and we have loads of news, your views, and all the rest you've come to expect on your favourite rugby league podcast. By fans, for fans, it's the Super League Pod. Hello listeners, you're listening to episode 198 of the Super League Pod. This is Mark, your regular host, and this week I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by the Hodge, Dom Hodgson. Welcome along, Dom.
Thank you very much. Hello everybody.
So, as is typical when we get a new guest host on, Dom, we're going to start with you telling us your rugby league story.
I'll try and give a brief summary. I spent a number of years going to rugby league games with my nana when I was much younger, and we went to a lot of Wembley finals that we lost, went to a lot of Headingley games that we lost, and we just had a good time. And
back in the 90s when Leeds was shit.
Yeah, the good times. And I was just saying before the show that next year will actually be the anniversary of the last game that I went to with my nana, which was the Silk Challenge Cup final 1999, the last ever Challenge Cup final played at Wembley, when Leeds were victorious.
Leroy Rivette and all that.
It was, so we'll be going there again, whether Leeds are there or not. And so I left it for a little bit while my nana was ill, and then I got back into it, I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was actually a giveaway with the Rhinos, that they gave away some tickets to a game, and I won them. And I took my granddad, because my granddad, while my nana was alive, wasn't allowed to come to the rugby. He was actually banned because he went to one game and they lost, so my nana wouldn't let him come. So it was actually the year that my nana had passed away, and I said we won the tickets, and it just seemed like fate. And I said to my granddad, "Come on, we'll go," and we've been going to games ever since.
Excellent. So obviously you covered there you're a Leeds Rhinos fan. If
Yes,
those that
indeed.
didn't know that already, so I'm sure that's going to come up plenty. Yesterday was a day that we're going to get to as well. But yesterday when I was speaking to Rob, sort of in your presence, you were in the background.
Yes.
Rob was asking me to make sure that if Leeds lost, that I'd make you read out his game review of the Leeds game yesterday. So I expect some stick like that. That's how our sponsors treat each other. It seems.
Rob actually made me do two selfies, one if Leeds lost and one if Leeds won. So he is prepared.
Right, fair enough. Well, just to run through what's going to be on the show this week, we're going to start by recapping some of the charity efforts from the SLP family from this weekend. Obviously, It was the Great North Run and it was the Great Hodge Run.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about both of those. Then the news is probably going to be dominated a little bit by Denver and Ferner. They're going to head up the news section this week. And we've got a few more listener views in on the news this week. I'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the news section. And then we have fan views from all the Super League and qualifiers games to go through too. So plenty to cover. But I think the first place to start, and it's one of the main reasons why we got you on this week, Dom, really, is last weekend we talked about a couple of charity efforts. One of them was our good friend Lee Whitnell, who's co-hosted the show before.
Yeah, he did the Great North Run yesterday.
With his wife,
Congratulations to both. It's a phenomenal run, especially if you're not a runner. Like I would recommend doing that one. It's such a good run, and it's not an easy one. So well done to both of them. I don't believe they're not regular runners, are they?
To be honest, I'm not sure what at all. I would. Lee might not like me saying this, but I would say his wife looks in better shape than he does. But they both completed it and they both had a great time. And they were raising money for the Newton Storm under-7s to get them some training kit to go along with the playing kit to kind of make the kids feel a bit more involved and a bit more, give them something exciting as well to end the season with, I guess, if they can order this gearing and that sort of stuff. So we asked for a shout out for the SLP listeners, and Lee got in touch to say, anyway, he said, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to you and the SLP family for sponsoring us. When you add the money raised online to the cash donations, we've raised over £500, which is fantastic. And he said about a third of this came from SLP listeners, some of whom Lee has never met, which he said he found incredibly humbling. So he says, he asked me to pass on my heartfelt thanks to you all out there, the SLP family. It would be much appreciated. And he's going to look to put a logo for SLP on the kit there next year as well now. So we'll be spreading the message.
We are sponsoring a load of junior teams.
So that's fantastic.
Let's hope they don't listen.
Yeah, but I mean, that was great. And thanks for everyone to buying into that one. And then the other event, which you organised, dominated, destroyed, and were absolutely victorious in, was the Great Hodge Run. Do you want to talk a little bit about yesterday and what happened?
Yeah, so
Sunday the 9th of September it was yesterday. For those not listening immediately when we're talking.
Just a little bit of background. When you run for a charity, you pay the charity for the runs, and in January I usually book all the runs for the year, pay for them all, and they go through all the charity. And about a month and a half ago, the charity called me up and just said, look, there's been a bit of a paper mistake and you don't have an entry for this year. We've tried everything we can, but there's nothing we can do. And anybody who listens to the show, follows me into it, knows how much I hate running, but I do actually enjoy doing the North Run, just because the whole town, the whole city, everybody gets into it, and it's such a great atmosphere. So I was actually absolutely gutted. But I'd also promised and made videos that I was going to do X amount of half marathons. So I had a small idea that I'll just, at the same time that the Great North was on, I'll just go to the local running track and I'll do a half marathon there. It was 52 and a half laps. I can do that. It'll be fine. And then I thought maybe if somebody wants to come and help. So I did a little bit of a video diary, just did a little Facebook, put a little website up. And yesterday we had over 20 people. I think we had 23 people run at one point.
Well,
do you know what? They took part. And we had about 35 people, so we had people giving out water, giving out drinks and stuff like that. We did a big Asda shop. We got
very appreciated the people who opened the buckets of sweets for us.
And it was Temple Newsom said we can use the running track, no problem. And the SLP family came out in force. The Nadins came down, you came down, Fat Boy Rob even managed to start her over 2 hours after everybody else.
I think I was the only person who arrived later than Rob, actually.
But it was you also came a fair distance away from it. But I was really quite emotional that the SLP family came, just because it's such a difference and it's just a stupid idea. But everybody took part. We gave out little medals, and on Facebook alone, we raised over like £480 yesterday.
Just during the 3 hours whilst we were at it, 3.5 hours or so, weren't it?
Yeah. And then we all went for a celebratory drink in the local pub.
And I was buzzing about that because loyal listeners of SLP will remember that last year I recommended a TV show called Back in Time for Dinner, and on one of their episodes when they were doing the 80s, I think it was, they were starting to talk about families eating out, changing, and pub eating out kind of becoming a thing. And Harvester was where they went, and they went to that Harvester.
Yeah.
And when I was driving up yesterday, I thought, I recognise this place off the TV. So, yeah, I was excited to be in a famous spot.
Yeah, you did. You spoke to the manager, you were quite excited yesterday, but I didn't know anything about it.
No, you did not. I can vouch for that, yeah.
But anyway,
that's a sidetrack.
Yeah, so that was our weekend. That was really, really exciting. Thank you very much to everybody who watched the live stream, who gave money, who turned up. It was absolutely amazing. And hats off again to Phil, who did a lot more than he should have done yesterday, who just kept on going.
Yeah, he pretty much did the whole thing. And, when we're talking about actual distance covered relative to proportion of the man. I mean, he had the smallest legs on the track and yet did as much as anyone.
I actually have a feeling that Phil actually did the full amount yesterday because I don't quite know what happened, but I ended up looking at my Apple Watch last night, and I actually did 26 kilometres on the track.
Yeah.
So I think it's a distance of how close you are to the middle bit. Like if you're in the middle.
Rob was making sure that he always had the inside line. So Phil always had it. Poor old Phil was having to jog a little bit to catch him up every time.
So I would say, Phil, yesterday you did a half marathon, mate. But enough about me. Let's carry on with the show.
Well, no, let's just a little bit more about you, if that's okay.
Right.
Because I just want to say, the fact that you did that and made an effort to do something to keep up for the charity, even after you've been let down. So many other people would sulk or use it as an excuse or what have you. And the fact that you went to a length yourself to organise something, and that's part of the reason why so many people turned up to support you. It was absolutely great. I had a great time getting to meet some of your other friends from your other different parts of your life. There was a few IT people there, there was a few comedy people there was a few people I think you've maybe just been friends with for a lot of years there.
There was all my different lives came together yesterday. My comedy friends, my search friends, my Disney friends, my SLP friends. And it was lovely to see that everybody had a good time. Everyone was cheering everybody on, and that was lovely. And what I will say is that whatever I do to raise money, it's nothing compared to what the team do at Martin House. That's why we support. They've got an open day on the 7th of October, and if anybody's in the area, I'd highly recommend you go down there and just see what they do. It's such an amazing place. Do
you want to, not everyone will have checked out your website. Well, obviously we talk about your website every single week, so most people will have checked out your website. But do you want to give people a little bit of an insight into what Martin House, the charity, does? Yeah,
sure. It's a hospice, and it's an end-of-life respite centre. So for children who are either terminally ill or long-term illness, they can go for a bit of a break, have a bit of time with some carers and things like that, and also the family can go and either spend some time with the brothers and sisters, because it's looking after a child with a long-term illness is hard. It's hard on everybody, especially the brothers and sisters. So, and they've also got rooms in there for like end-of-life care. So, and there's I can't talk about that because I can
see you getting emotional, but I think everyone is getting a sense of what this charity does and why you want to support it so much.
So I used to, before I did what I do now, I used to work for an organisation called MenCap, and a few of the children that we looked after went there on a regular basis, and some of them actually passed away there, and just what it gave the parents and what it gave the families, I was so grateful that place existed, but that I wasn't in need of it.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy it's there, but that I don't need it. So I want to make sure that whatever we do, and every time we give them a donation, they are grateful. The phone calls I've had from the team, from everybody there, have absolutely been, and they're astounded at how much we've raised, and they read all the tweets that we get, and every time they're mentioned, they really are appreciative. And that's the SLP family have given a lot. Mainly so I wear Cass boxer shorts. So and
they are on order.
They are. We've got we're less than £1,000 to what I wanted this year, which was 7.5. I think we're at about 6.8, and I said that if we get 7.5, I'm going to go and do a full gym session in the shark outfit.
Okay.
So a full personal training session with my personal trainer, and the person that made the video is going to film it.
Excellent. So what other than that, which is a great reason for anyone who hasn't donated already to get behind you, what other activities have you got coming up to round out your fundraising for 2018?
Sure. We've got the next week we're off to Disneyland Paris to do the 5k, 10k and half marathons. They're each a day after each other. Then 3 weeks after that we're off to Disney World to do a 5k, 10k and a half in the Florida heat. And each one of them will have a completely unique costume, and one of them is the best costume I've ever worn in my life.
I'm very excited. Just the fact that you had to organise shipping for your costumes because you wouldn't be able to get them in your baggage should excite people enough, I think, Dom. No, do you know what? That felt like a proper interview. That was well weird,
and there's people going, where the fuck's the rugby? So I'm very hesitant in this. So.
Well, I've got to thank you as well, a bit more self-serving this one. But I want to thank anyone who bought the Mask or Browns gear using our affiliates link. If you go on our blog on superleaguepod.com, you'll find a link there in every episode recap post. We've had our first commissions through, and it all helps with the running costs. I think the first lot of commissions we had pays for basically 2.5 months of our bills that we pay for hosting the the show. So that's great. So if people can keep buying their international gear through our link, then all the more power to that. So if you go down and see a Masco Brown pop-up stall and think I like that,
just don't buy it.
Buy it
go
online,
onto the website
and then talk to Steve, and he'll bring it next time he's round your way. He's very